Marhaba. Today we are going to be continuing with Unit 3. We're going to finish the end of Unit 3 by covering two new combination sounds. Now last class we covered Jim, Ha, and Kha. Remember, Jim we said was a jug. Ha we said is hollow, doesn't have any letters or any dots. And Kha we said is ugh, it's angry because it has to carry something. The dot is on top. And all three of these letters connect. And this was the way that we said that they connect. And of course, medially, if you don't want to do it this way, you could connect this way. And finally, if you wanted to connect this way, you could do that as well. So today what we are going to be talking about are two new sounds. And the way that we're going to get those sounds is by talking about this symbol right here. And it looks like a circle that goes above the letter. So this line here represents the letter. And its name is Sukoon. And Sukoon is the opposite of a haraka. A haraka, we said, was a short vowel. And your harakat are all three of your short vowels, the fatha, the dhamma, and the kasra. And these three create movement, right? So the fatha, you have the a sound, and the dhamma, you have the u sound, and the kasra, you have the e sound, right? Now, sukoon does the opposite of that. Sukoon means to be still, or to be at peace, or to be silent. And sukoon is stillness. It's the opposite of movement. And we have seen words in which we are pronouncing those words with sukoon. We just haven't learned the symbol for it yet. So when you are stopping on a sound, so for instance, if I say hub, hub, it's the ha sound here with the short u and ending with the ba. Now this last letter that we have, the letter ba, we're stopping on the ba. We're not pronouncing the ba with a vowel sound. We're simply ending on the sound of the b. That right there is represented by a sukoon. So you can put a sukoon on top of the ba. Now, most words that we have, if they don't have a haraka, if they don't have a short vowel on the last letter, they're always pronounced with a sukoon. So for instance, we said last class, Taj, Taj. And here we're pronouncing the T sound, the ta, with an alif, which is the ah sound. And this letter jim that's at the end doesn't have any vowels, so we're simply stopping on that sound. And so that is the sound of the sukoon. Now, because most words end on the last letter, we stop on the sound of the last letter, we don't actually have to write sukoon on the last letter of the word. It's just assumed that if there isn't a vowel there, we pronounce it with sukoon. Sukoon is more important for us in the middle of the word because it tells us where the end of a syllable is. So you're going to write down the word yahtaj, yahtaj, yahtaj. And if you need to pause and rewind and hear the word a few more times, that's fine. So you hear the first letter is a ya. And the ya, you have to listen and hear, is it long or is it short? So am I saying yah or am I saying yah? So the sound is a short sound. So what represents the short sound that this is making is a fatha. So if you were to transliterate it, you would say yah taj. So we said, okay, we got the ya, we got this short a with the fatha. What makes this sound in your throat is the letter ha. Yah ta. What makes the ah sound? And then ending with the jim. Now, last class, we talked about if you have a vowel, so if I have a consonant and it's followed by a vowel and then it's followed by another consonant that does not have any vowel on it, that we stop on it. That's the end of that syllable. Now what I'm telling you is that that vowel is actually, that absence of vowel is actually a sukoon. And the sukoon simply tells you that, okay, this is the point where we are ending that syllable. So here's the first half of the word, yah. That's the first half of the word, the first syllable. Taj, that's the second syllable. So the sukoon is simply the symbol that tells you, okay, I'm stopping on this letter. Okay? So anywhere that you're stopping, that's going to be the sukoon. So let's look at another word. Tathbeet. 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 We're going to take a ta, and the ta is making a short sound, so I'm going to put a fath on it. Tath. Now I have the letter tha, and that letter tha, tath, we're stopping on that sound. I'm not saying tatha or thu or thi. I'm simply ending on that letter, tath. That's the end of that syllable. And the way that we represent it is by putting a sukoon on top of it. Tath. We have a ba, bi, ya, medial position, and then ending with a ta. Tathbeet. So that sukoon that we place there, that is where you're stopping. That's the end of that syllable. Okay. So now that we have sukoon, we need to learn two new sounds. And the way that we're going to learn these two new sounds is we're going to revisit the letter waw and the letter ya. And the letter waw and the letter ya, we said, had both two sounds. The waw makes the oo sound when it's a long vowel. And what sound does it make as a consonant? The wa. And the ya makes the e sound as a long vowel and the ya sound as a consonant. So what we are going to do now is we are going to look at this letter waw and ya. And what we talked about before was that when it's in the beginning of the syllable, it's usually making its consonant sound. So if waw is in the beginning of a syllable, it'll sound like wa. Right? So if I said wajib, 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 I start with a W sound, wa, wow, alif, j. Then I have a jim, and we're not saying waja or waju, we're saying waj. So we put a kasra, wajib. So here you have an example of a waw that's making the consonant W sound. Wajib is a good vocab word, means homework. Wajib, something that you have to do. So wajib, here we have the example of the waw as a consonant sound. And we said that when you usually have the waw in the beginning of the syllable, it means that it's going to be making its consonant sound. Okay. The same thing with the letter ya. Like if I said yahtaj, like this word that we said earlier, that was ya here, making the Y sound. Okay. So those are examples of waw and ya as consonants. What we're going to focus on today is what happens when you stop on the W sound or you stop on the Y sound. So how can you stop on that consonant sound? And that is where the sukoon comes into play. We're doing good. So that is where the sukoon comes into play. So the two sounds that we're going to focus on today, we'll focus on the first one. When you have a letter that has a fatha, and it's followed by a waw with a sukoon on top of it, the sound that it makes is O. O. And the way that it does this is that the fatha makes the a sound, and when you take the a sound and you stop on the W sound, O, and you bring your lips together in a pursed, rounded shape, the sound that you end up getting is O. You start with the a and you end on the W. And this is what we call a combination sound. So originally, if I had done jim with a waw, you would have pronounced it Ju, because the wow here is functioning as a vowel, right? It elongates the sound. Now what I'm telling you is if we have the same exact letters, but we put a fatha on the jim and a sukoon on the wow, now it's going to become jo. And jo means weather. Okay, jo. So let's look at some others. If I have ba with a wow, it is boo. But if I take the same thing and I put a fatha and the sukoon on it, it now is bow. So in the first one, in the one with boo on the right, the wow is functioning as a long vowel, making the oo sound. On the left, the wow is functioning as a consonant that we're stopping on. It's the W sound that we're stopping on. So let's do some examples. Khawch. Khawch. We have the kh sound, and it's followed by ow. Khaw. Khaw. And then we're ending on another kh. So in order for us to get that ow sound, we're going to put a fatha on the wow, on the kh here. Follow it by a wow with a sukoon. Remember, wow doesn't connect. End it with another kh. Khawch. And khawch means peach. Khawch. Now, in some dialects, they pronounce the ow sound a little bit more slanted, so khawch in some dialects. But in Fusha, in modern standard, we're going to pronounce the actual sound ow. Khawch. Okay? Khawch means peach. So that is the sound of the fatha followed by a wow with a sukoon. Now let's do the second sound. So that's O. The second sound that we have is when you have a fatha and a ya with a sukoon. And a fatha with a ya sukoon makes the sound A. What sound does it make? A. And that is because we take the a sound of the fatha and we're stopping on the y sound, because ya here is functioning as a consonant that we're stopping on. So you take a, stop on the y sound. A. 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 So now let's look at some examples. If I had ba and it was followed by a ya, what did we originally say that it sounds like? And if you're not sure, look at your vowel charts that we did. B. Now if I take the same exact thing, but this time I put a fatha and a sukoon, the sound becomes bay. Like a bay window. Bay. Okay. So let's do an example. Bait. 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 You have the ba, and it's making the a sound. So I'm going to put a fatha, and I'm going to follow it with a ya, with a sukoon. Remember, ya immediately connects. Bait, with the ta at the end. Bait. Vocab word. Bait means house. So how would I say my house? Take the word bait. Open the ta up so you can attach the ya to the end. Baiti. My house. My house. Baiti. We'll do one more. Jabe. Jabe. You have a jim and you want to make the a sound. So we put a fatha on top of it. A ya with the sukoon. Jabe. And a ba ending. Jabe. Jabe means pocket. So if I want to say my pocket, Jaybi. And just add a ya to the end. One thing I do want to notice is, or bring out, is the difference in the sound here of the A and the alif, because many times students get confused with that. If you thought that we should write the word jayb with a jim alif, this was the word for he brought, and it was jab. So when you have jim followed by alif, it's the ah sound, jab. But when you have a fatha and a ya with a sukoon, that's aib, jayb. So notice the difference here, jab, jayb. Okay. If you had jim with a waw and you didn't have any vowels on it, no fatha, it'd be ju. So jay, ja, ju. So notice the difference in these sounds. So now one thing that I would recommend is, as you're taking your notes, I would recommend coming up with a chart for yourself for each letter, and you put the letter on top. So for instance, I have the letter jim. I could put that at the top. And you're going to write that letter with all of the vowel sounds. Ja, ju, ji. Then your long vowel sounds. Ja, ju, ji. And now with your combination sounds, Jo and J. Okay. So if you were to look at the sounds of these, right here, we would say Ja, Ju, Ji, Ja, Ju, Ji, Jo, and J. Okay. So now you can do all 8 of these sounds with every consonant that we have done. Okay. What you're going to do for homework is you're going to look at your syllabus, and the rest of the drills that are written out under Unit 3, you're going to do them for writing. Make sure that you have all of Unit 3 completed by the next class, because we will be taking the quiz on the first 2 chapters that we've done. So Unit 1 was just a reading intro, so these chapters will be Unit 2 and Unit 3 that cover all the new letters that we've done. What I would recommend is go on to the Padlet, and I have a column that says Quizlet, and that Quizlet has vocab words on it that you can practice. And there is also a study guide that has all the vocab words written out on the Padlet as well. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a message. As-salama.